Hello, so today I'm going to talk about how you could install Apache Kafka on a Raspberry Pi. So as you know, which is the OS of Raspberry Pi, is a Linux-based OS, so you can apply this techniques or method on different Linux platform as well. At the moment I'm connecting to Raspberry Pi using SSH, so you can also connect to your Raspberry Pi using VNC or SCP. That works as well, but I'm just going to do it on SSH. So let me just connect to my Raspberry Pi first. Okay, so I'm in. So at the moment I'm on home/pi, so I could install Apache Kafka on this level. So if we just go to the Apache Kafka website, so kafka.apache.org downloads, you can see all the different versions of Apache Kafka. So today I will just use 2.4.1 because that's the one I've been using and I know it works. So there's source download, there's binary downloads. So I recommend binary downloads. It saves you lots of time for compiling and building the source code. So yeah, let's go to 2.4.1. So there's a few ways you could do it. You could double click on a link and it will download the zip files locally, and then you can move it across using WinSCP or any protocol you like. But today I will just copy this link. So let me go back to the PowerShell. Okay, so I will use wget to download a zip file to my Pi. So it's getting there, it shouldn't be too long. Okay, so let's double check is there. Okay, so that's Kafka zip files. So I could unzip the files. And let me rename it to just Kafka. Okay. So we have the zip files and we have the Kafka directory. So let's cd to Kafka. Let's look at what folders available there. So we have a bin folder, we have a config folder. So in the bin folder, that's where all the binaries are. And in the config, obviously, there's all the properties files are. So on this level, you want to create a new directory called data. And then let's cd to data. We need to make another 2 folders. So one called zookeeper, another called Kafka. Okay, so now let's go back to the top level, and let's go to config. Let's have a look what's in there. So you have the consumer properties, you have the producer properties. So that's Kafka terminologies. We have producer and consumer. You can do all the configurations in those property files. And you have zookeeper properties and you have server properties. So that's what we are going to modify now. So let's just open up zookeeper properties with a editor nano. So in there, we see there's a data directory is pointing to a temp directory, so it's not optimal. So we should change that to the directory we just created. So it should be home pi kafka data zookeeper. Okay, so save and exit. Now we want to change another one called server.properties. So in there should be another path pointing to temporary files. So let's change that as well. Should be home py kafka data kafka. And there is a second line you need to change as well. So listeners equals plain text. And this should be your local IP address. So 192.168.2.52 in my case, but you need to double check your own IP address. Okay, so now we are at a very good place to spin up the server. So we can go back to the top level. So the executables is in the bin folder. So we want to spin up zookeeper-server-start.sh. We need to pass in an argument called config zookeeper.properties. Okay, so yeah, it looks like zookeeper is running. So now we need to open up another command prompt. Let me SSH to my Pi as well. And on this level, we need to spin up another binaries. So we need kafka-server-start. Kafka-server-start. Need to pass in an argument called server.properties. Okay, it looks like the server spin up properly, otherwise it will quit after a few seconds and you will know straight away some of the configuration is not right. But now it looks like it's working. So you've spin up the zookeeper binaries and you have also spin up the server binaries. So at this point you can try to create a new topic. So you will need to spin up another command prompt, very annoyingly. So I got a command prompt ready here. So let me just go to connect to my Pi. CD to Kafka. So to create a new topic, you need to call the kafka-topic script. So there are a couple of arguments you need to pass in. So we want to do create, and then we want to define the bootstrap-server. And then we need to define the replication-factor. And then partitions. And then we can define the topic name. So let's call it today's date. So test. Okay, so there's a warning there saying that we shouldn't use underscore, but it looks like it has created a topic correctly, so we can just quickly check that. So we can check if a topic is there by calling the same script, but now we can call the argument should be list, and we need to define the bootstrap server. So yeah, so we see the new topic we just created, so everything looks promising. So we've spin up the zookeeper, we've spin up the server, we have created the topic. Now we can try to spin up producer and consumer and see if we can pass through some message between them. So let's spin up producer first. So you wanna call then Kafka console and then produce, because you want to produce the message first. So you need to pass in a few arguments. First argument is called broker list, and then you want to pass in an argument your topic. So that's producer. So let's spin it up. Okay, so it looks fine. So let's spin up another command window. So on this command window, we want to spin up the consumer. So it should be Kafka console consumer. So we need to pass in a few arguments as well. So bootstrap-server, and then topic name. Okay. So now I'm just gonna go back to the producer. So let's try a few messages. And let's flick back to consumer. So we have the message coming through. That's pretty cool. Let's try a few more. Okay, so it's all coming through. That's promising. So now we can look at the consumer prompt. So let me just queue this first. So we can actually pass in another argument called from beginning. And then we can look at all the message from the very beginning to the end. So that's all the message. So now if I go back to producer, we can have more message. And it's coming through. So we got the consumer producer working. So this is how you can run Apache Kafka on Linux Raspberry Pi.